Hello everyone, welcome to social class. Today I am going to explain you a 6th standard social lesson, Prehistoric Society. This is the 3rd chapter, and in this lesson we are going to learn about the different between the historic period and the prehistoric period is made clear. So other topics in this lesson explained are about Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age and Neolithic Age. Let me start the lesson now. Generally, history may be divided into 3 major periods. So all of us know in first lesson we have read about the importance of history. So history is divided into 3 major periods, that is prehistoric period, proto-historic period and historic period. So which are those 3? Prehistoric period, proto-historic period and historic period. In the history of human beings, prehistoric period covers almost 99.9%, but the available evidences to study that age are not abundant. So therefore, the space given to prehistoric period in the history of mankind is very little. So for prehistoric period, the time is given is very little. The criterion used to classify the above 3 periods is the availability of the script or writings. The periods in which no records of writing is found is often considered as a prehistoric period. So how can we explain the prehistoric period? Where the writing is not available. So that period is said as prehistoric period. Example, we can give a Stone Age. In Stone Age, the human being used to wander from one place to another place. He did not know about the fire and all. So this year is said, this age is Stone Age is said as a prehistoric period. No evidence is there about the writing there. Next, the period that has a record of writings but it is not understood by the succeeding ages is known as proto-historic period. So second is proto-historic period. So in this period or in this stage, writing were there but it was not understood by anyone. So that age is known as proto-historic period. Example, the period of Harappan civilization. So in Harappan civilization we get many of the writings but we cannot read it. So that is proto-historic period. The period that has a distinct writing or record and can be read and understood by succeeding ages is known as a historic period. So third stage is historic period. So in this we are having the records of writing and the next generation also we can read it. So this period is known as a historic period. So totally what we read now, prehistoric age. So in this evidence not abundant and no records further. So this is known as prehistoric age. Second is proto-historic age. So here records were there, writings were there but no one can read it. So this is proto-historic age. And third one is historic age. So here distinct clear writing came into conclusion. So here writings were there and we can read it. So these are the 3 main ages: prehistoric, proto-historic and historic age. Next, already I told the 3 important age we are going to read is, first is Paleolithic Age. Let me go in detail in this. This period is the beginning stage according to the archaeological stage of human history. Human beings of this period lived upon fruits, edible plants and lived on tubers, etc. So in this period human beings don't know to cook or use of fire. They used to consume food on the type of fruits, edible plants and tubers. Being nomadic in nature, they lived in caves and rock shelter. Even they did not know the build of the house. So they used to get shelter in caves and rocks. And they made variety of simple stone tools like scrapers, knives, cleavers, biroons and microliths from quadrates and flints. So these are the types of stones. So from using these stones they used to make a stone weapons. and they used large leaves and bark of trees as clothes. Even they don't know use of the clothes nowadays, how we are using clothes. They did not know the use of clothes. Instead of that, they used large leaves and bark of the trees as their clothes. Fruits, edible plants, tubers were not available in all seasons. So season wise we will get the fruits, isn't it, nowadays also. Same like that, all the season they did not get the plants or tubers or fruits. In the last stage of Paleolithic Age, what happened? They learned hunting and fishing for food. When the fruits and tubers were not available, slowly the people started learning of hunting and fishing for the sake of food. And they learned to control fire. Slowly they came to know of the use of the fire also. So this is about the Paleolithic Age. Now let me see where we can see this Paleolithic Age. The important signs of this age are Belan Valley in Madhya Pradesh, Hunsigi and Baichapal in Karnataka, Kurnool and Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh, Attimapakam in Tamil Nadu, etc. Generally, this period between 5 lakh years and 12,000 years ago is recorded as Paleolithic Age. So, this age was during 5 lakh years and 12,000 years back from now onwards. So, this is about the Paleolithic Age. So, what we learned here, the people were depended upon the fruits, tubers for food, and they lived in a rock and caves, and they don't know the use of clothes. Instead of that, they used leaves and bark of the trees. And slowly, when the fruits were and the tubers were not available, slowly they started learning of the hunting and fishing. And they started the use of the fire also. So, this is the important of the Paleolithic Age. Now, second is Mesolithic Age. This is the period between Paleolithic and Neolithic Age. So, this will come in between these two, Paleolithic and Neolithic. This is known as a Mesolithic Age. And hence, it is called as a Mesolithic Age. During this period, human beings started using small tools that were more efficient than the bigger one. So, in Paleolithic Age, we came to know by cutting or by grinding some of the stones, they used to make a small stone tools. Here in this age, they started making a small tools which were efficient than the bigger one. Hence, this period is also known as Microlithic Age. So, why it is also known as a Microlithic Age means they started using of a small tools, and these smaller tools were fixed on a wooden handle and used as spears while hunting. So, for these tools they started using the wooden handles also, and they were also gathered wild nuts. Nuts means we can say for example cashew will be there, walnut will be there, like that nuts they started to collect or gather. The food was not available continuously. In this age also food was not available continuously, means all the time they did not get the food. Many a times they had endure hunger. Endure means to suffer. They used to suffer hunger, and they found a way out, and they started rearing animals that were wounded during hunting or rearing of offsprings that were found during hunting. Slowly, because of the scarcity of the food and they suffered of the hunger, what they did? They started rearing of the animals. From where they reared? While hunting, some of the offsprings means small ones were there now. They started rearing those animals, and these animals were the secured source of food for them. So these animals were the securing food for the when the fruits and tubers were not available, and this slowly led to the animal husbandry. So this stage started the animal husbandry, means rearing of the animals. The Mesolithic human beings roamed around in search of food for themselves and their animals. So these Mesolithic age human beings means people, what they did? They were roaming in search of food for themselves and for their animals. Only in the first stage we came to know only they were searching food for themselves. Here after rearing the animals, what happened? They wanted to search the food for themselves and also for the animals. And wherever they stayed, and they used to draw the pictures on the rocks and that were used as their shelters. So here also people did not know build of the house. So where they stayed, in the caves maybe or under the big rocks, they used to draw the pictures. And animal's hide was used as their dress. Hide means your skin of the animal. In this age they started instead of using the leaves and bark of the tree, here in this age little bit changes, means they started the hide of the animal, means the skin of the animal, they started as their cloth or a dress. And they knew fire and its utilities. Only in the first stage we know they have introduced the fire. In this stage they started using of the fire. Bhimtekta and Ahmednagar of Madhya Pradesh, Brahmagiri and Kanaginahalla of Karnataka, Bagur and Ganeshwara of Rajasthan, Biranpur of West Bengal, and Vanparasi of Andhra Pradesh, and Sarai Nahr Rai of Uttar Pradesh are the few important places. That of age, Mesolithic age, was between 12,000 and 9,000 years ago from now. From now onwards, this age was at 12,000 and 9,000 years ago. This is about the Mesolithic age. So what all we have learned here? So the age between these two, Paleolithic and Neolithic age, was known as a Mesolithic age. Men started using the small tools, and they have started using the wooden handle for the tools, used as a spear while hunting and gathering. So you can see the picture there. You can see animal rearing was there. See, many of the animals were there, and the stone weapons are there. See, one of the man is sitting and adjusting the weapons there. And see their dress. They have wearing the skin of the animals as their dress, isn't it? So many changes have took in this Mesolithic age. See, they know the use of the fire also. One of the women is sitting, they know the use of the fire. See, they are cooking there for food. Next, let we go for the Neolithic age. Since the Mesolithic human beings were into animal husbandry, then often storage of food for themselves and for their animals, so these people started producing their own food during Neolithic age. So another change has been took in the Neolithic age. So all these days they used to wander in search of food, isn't it? Now in this age what they started? They started growing of their own food for themselves and also for the animals. And they started cultivating crops on the alluvial soil on the banks of rivers. So they started cultivating the alluvial soil in the banks of the rivers, where the abundant of river or water was there. They started their cultivation there. Agriculture provided food to them and fodder for their animals. So when they started agriculture, they got both food and even fodder. Fodder means here we can say mew for the animals. This enabled them settle in one place, leaving aside the life of wanderers. So what happened from here onwards? They started to settle in a particular place or in one place and stopped the wandering from one place to another place. Like this, agriculture became the first step in the direction of civilization and culture. So here what happened? Agriculture became the first step to show that the man has becoming a civilized and also in the culture. The first evidence of agriculture in Indian subcontinent is found in Mehrgarh of present Pakistan. So first evidence we'll get about the agriculture. The place is known as Mehrgarh. Now at present it is in Pakistan. While the people here constructed houses of sun-dried bricks for living, and the people residing in Barzahom of Kashmir dug underground shelters. So next step we are coming to know about the construction of the houses. So they use the bricks for constructing the house, and also another place in Kashmir, the name is Barzahom. Here we will get the evidence of the underground shelter, means digging in the digging underground and making a shelter. And when they faced the problem of storing of the grains produced, they manufactured homemade pottery. So when they started agriculture, surplus of the crops they have started to grow. So where they give the extra, where they used to keep the extra grown crops, so they started the producing of the parts. And when they faced of the problem of storing of the grain produced, they manufactured handmade pottery. Later on, after the introduction of the wheel, the manufacturing of different types of varieties of parts became easy. First they used to made the handmade pot, and after that when the wheel was introduced, they started the many of the type of or the size of the pots, and it made the easy to make of the making of the parts also. The stone tools were sharpened and used. So here they started, in the picture you can see the stone tools which they were using, they have sharpened them and they started used such type of tools. And when they were using hand axe also is there, see, axe and other tools made out of bone. So first we came to know about that the tools were made only from the stones. Next in this stage they started the bones as their tools. The evidence of the Neolithic Age are found in Banahalli, Brahmagiri, Budihal, Halur and Pilikihal, T. Narsipura, Uttanur of Karnataka and Chiran of Bihar. And the period of the Neolithic Age is usually fixed as between 9000 and 5000 years ago from now. So these are the important sites we can see. The evidence are got about the Neolithic Age, and this period of Neolithic Age was between 9000 and 5000 years ago from now. Okay, next we can go for the Metal Age. So here Metal Age is divided into two, Copper and Bronze Stone Age and Iron Stone Age. Let me go in detail now. Metal Age. The use of metals began by the end of the Neolithic period. So when they started the using of the metals in the end of the Neolithic Age. The first metal that the human beings used was copper. Copper was the first metal used by the human being. Copper in Kannada they will say as Tamra. Then the people of Metal Age learned producing bronze. Bronze means kanchu. By mixing tin and copper. By mixing the tin and copper we will get the bronze. And bronze is an alloy and it is the harder than copper. Alloy means it is a combination of the two metals. So it is said as a alloy. Bronze is a alloy and it is the harder than compared to the copper. Copper and Bronze Stone Age. As the quantity of copper and bronze tools were very low, stone weapons were continued to be used along with them. So they did not stop the using of the stone weapons. Along with the stone weapons, they started using of the copper weapons also. Therefore, this period is called as Copper and Bronze Stone Age. So because of that, this period is also known as Copper and Bronze Stone Age. This age began about 5000 years ago. Now, from now onwards, 5000 years ago, this age has begun. And agriculture and cattle rearing were the prime occupations. Along with that, agriculture and cattle rearing were also continued. And design parts manufactured by using wheels belonged to this age. So in this age we will come across the manufacture of the design parts by using the wheels. Copper implements and jewelry have been found. Also we will get the evidence of the copper implements, also jewelry. Jewelry means ornaments. And bronze implements were helpful for deep cultivation of land and for the conservation of forest land into cultivated land. So for what they have used the bronze implements? For cultivating the land. So they started cutting of the forest and using that as a cultivated land. As a result, there was a rise in the production of the food grains. So when they started the cultivating more land, so automatically the food grains what they grown was also more. By transporting excess food grain to needy places around, the trade started. So here in this age what happened? The people, what all the extra grown crops were there, they started to transport from one place to another place. From this what happened? The transporting excess food grain to needy places around, the trade started. So from like this the trade also started, but here no use of the money was there, only barter system we can see. And consequently in the valleys of river Sindhu and its tributary, tributary means a stream of rivers or a stream following into a large river or a lake is known as a tributaries, means small waterfalls will join the big river, it is known as a tributary. So here consequently in the valleys of river Sindhu and its tributary, a grand culture like Harappa urbanization were happened, or the grand culture of Harappan civilization could arise. So like this the first civilization, all of us know, the Harappan civilization came to arise. Historians identify it as the first urbanization ever happened, all of us know already. So Harappan civilization is the first civilization which was very urbanized. And in the South India the use of bronze was less when compared to the use of the copper. In South India the copper was used more instead of bronze. The evidences of copper and bronze stone age have been found in Haluru, Banahalli, Brahmagiri and other places in Karnataka. So these are the sites we can see about of the copper and bronze stone age. Next, iron stone age. Iron is a hard metal, all of us know. Nowadays also we are using the iron. It is a very hard metal. This was used in South India long before copper. So in South India before copper it was using. It means here iron was using. And in South India it was in use as early as some 3500 years ago. So in South India we are using iron from 3500 years ago. This is called as the period of Grand Stone Culture. And in the tombs of the Grand Stone Culture, stone circle was constructed around the chamber where dead body is kept. So in textbook you can see the picture. Those are the stone tombs. So you can see the picture. So in the tombs of the Grand Stone Culture, stone circle was constructed around the chamber where dead body is kept. See children, in the picture you can see that those are the stone chambers where the dead bodies were kept. See, all it was constructed by the stones only. Red and black colored pots were commonly placed in such chambers. So inside those chambers, red and black pots were kept in the chamber. What they used to keep? Some of the things what the man used in his daily life. Now also if in pyramids we will come across to know about this things, isn't it? Along with the dead body they used to keep all the things which he used in his life. So same like that here also, in the red and black colored pots they used to keep some of the things inside the chambers. In Karnataka, common people call it as hut or a house of Pandavas. So these burials for they were called as in Karnataka, that also especially in Karnataka the common people used to call this house as a Pandavas, house of Pandavas or hut of Pandavas. Stone of Mauryas also, they used to call it them as stone of Mauryas. Iron weapons and implements were helpful in agriculture and handicrafts. For what they used the iron weapons? For implements and also agricultural and handicrafts. As the use of iron increased in North India, agrarian activities geared up. Agrarian means agricultural activities become more stronger or more, and thus there was surplus yield. How the agriculture improved? They started growing more crops, and some 2600 years ago, the class which controlled surplus yield emerged as ruling class. So after 2600 years, after the 2600 years, what happened? Who used to grow more crop? He became the ruling class, or those people became the ruling class, and they were the republic states. They became the leader and they started ruling the other people. And thereafter, Nanda, Maurya empires became prominent. After this, what happened? Slowly, the richer one became the leader, and he started ruling the other people. And like this, we can say the Nanda Maurya dynasty came into prominent. And important sites in Karnataka that belong to Iron Age are Banahalli, Hirebenakallu, Brahmagiri, Koppa, and Heggadahalli, T. Narsipura, Hemmige, Halur, Jadigenahalli, Savanadurga, Hutri Durga, and Pandavaradinne, etc. So these are the some of the places in Karnataka we can see the evidence of the Iron Stone Age. So this was the lesson. I think you have understood. Go on studying. Thank you.